Park. We're going to start with you because this is the goal that opened the scoring, Glenn.
Yeah, it's poor from Tottenham's point of view. Too many players spare in close range of the goals. But the ball comes in, a lot of bodies. But you've got to try and win the first ball. They don't, and they pay the price. Konza shrivels on that. It's like a centre forward, again, a defender in that vital area. And it's a really good finish. But Spurs a little bit sleepy there.
Kamara with a second goal. This is his first Premier League goal. You know, if you ever need a goal, play against Tottenham. And that's what it seems. I mean, it's a good finish. I mean, he takes it very well, just opens it up there and just guides it past goalkeeper, gives him absolutely no chance. And it was comfortable in the end. I thought Tottenham did well with their B team in the first period, but look what it means to Unai Emery and his staff. This is Martinez at the end. Looks like that's a goodbye. You know, it's his last home game.
Yeah, that's a goodbye, Wave.
That's a goodbye. I would suggest a lot of fans would be crying as well because you don't find goalkeepers like him. You know, they don't fall off trees. You know, the quality of him. He's a World Cup winner. He's been absolutely magnificent for Villa. They obviously need to get some finances into that football club. He's got a lot of years left on his contract, so I would suggest they're getting a lot of money for him wherever he may be, but it doesn't look like it's going to be at Villa Park next year. Yeah,
it did look like goodbye, as we mentioned, teary-eyed there from Emi Martinez. At least he's ended off his last Villa home game, if it is to be.
Well, you would think so, the way he waved and the way he was in tears, but, you know, he's going to be a massive loss. How they're going to replace him is a big question mark. Where is he going to go? It'll cost a lot of money. I believe he's on a, 4-year contract still, something like that. Wow. Someone's going to have to pay a hell of a lot of money. We were talking to him, said maybe Barcelona would
be a fantastic fit for him.
Have they got the money?
I don't know where they're finding it.
You know, where they're going to get the finances from with the problems that they've had. So they've got that new stadium that they've put together again, you know, so it's interesting to see where he's going to... But he's a wonderful goalkeeper, I've got to say, and whoever gets him is he's going to be worth 10, 11, 12 points every year to you. And that's what you need from a goalkeeper. You know, when you win a league or you do something in the Champions to get in the Champions League, a goalkeeper will save you games. They don't throw games away.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get post-match reactions from Villa Park now after that important win. We hear from Unai Emery and also the man who scored his very first Premier League goal, and that's the one that made it 2-0, Boubacar Kamara.
It's a good feeling. Normally, I don't have a chance to score, but today I try, and it's good for the team, and it's good for me also. So I'm happy tonight.
We won, and of course we are in the run, but still work to do. We have to try to keep being consistent like we are now, and focus and demanding as well. Of course, next week is our match after the effort we did, and today, of course, we finished here the season with our supporters, trying to transmit them as well our energy, our wishes to be there, to be in Europe, and of course, still work to do in case we can have some chances to play Champions League.
Aston Villa showing their appreciation to the fans. They have been incredible on their home turf this season. They are unbeaten in 18 games. It's a new Premier League record for the club. They've also won 9 of their last 11 Premier League matches, and that includes tonight's game, and what a huge one it is. You can see why there is that celebration, because it puts them into the top 5, and that's where they would love to end the season. Also, Unai Emery took selfies with just about everyone in the stadium. I think his lap of honour is still going.
It could still be there.
It could still be there.
Yeah. No, he's done a fabulous job. He really has, and they've got belief in him. I've got to say, I think it's the best January window that I've seen in the history of the Premier League. Yeah. It's very difficult for a manager to get the right players in, whether they're on loan or you're buying them in January. But the people that he's brought in has taken them to another level. And that's why they've been so consistent, because you look at every time you look at the bench, you think, oh, I've got a game changer here, or I've got a game saver. And he's got that in abundance from his bench. Because the 11 that ever starts are strong as well. I think it was a wonderful January window for them, and as I say, it took them to another level.
I think it just helps, Glenn, when you're allowed to bring in your own sporting director.
Yeah,
and they allowed him to do that. They work hand in hand. They worked in Spain together before. Mucci, the sporting directors, give him exactly what he needs, and he probably knows him inside out, and he knows what he requires. And why wouldn't you back him? You know, they had very, very rich owners there. Why would you not back this man? He rehearsed brilliantly, you know, showed them what he could do to take him from a lower position in the league to where they finished off. They've enjoyed Champions League football. They want to be there again, and he's pushing them right to the edge of that. Absolutely magnificent. I couldn't speak highly enough for the job he's done.
Yeah, 100 games in the Premier League in charge of Aston Villa for Unai Emery. He's won 54 of those. It puts them in the pound seats in that Champions League race. Let's look at the battle for top 5 going into the final 2 weeks of the season, although for Chelsea and Villa, they've done the business in match week 37. What you're seeing at the top there in the percentages is Opta's supercomputer's prediction for who will make it into the top 5. Arsenal, Newcastle and Manchester City given the best chances there. Then Chelsea, followed by Villa, Nottingham Forest, who for so long seemed to have it nailed on, locked down, find themselves just outside. But it's not quite over for them yet. This is going down to the final day.
Absolutely, it's going to go right to the and rightly so, and it's good because obviously Liverpool won the Premier League so early, and the 3 that's gone down that came up went early as well. So this fight for the Champions League and the Europa and the conference positions, there's some wonderful clubs there that I think the likes of Bournemouth and the likes of Fulham and Brentford, it's great to see them going and fighting for a European place of some sort, and it's kept the league going, and I think it's kept it healthy. I still wouldn't cast, you know, I'm going against the computer a bit here, but if Forest to go and beat West Ham on Sunday, I think at home against Chelsea, what a game that would be. And I wouldn't count Forest out at the moment.
OK, so Glenn's going against the supercomputer.
I go with it.
Okay.
I think it's right. I don't think it's right often. I think it might be right on this occasion.
What a final game, though. Forest against Chelsea. If they do the business, you've set it up for us. You've written the script.
Oh, what a fixture. And the atmosphere there.
Yeah.
We both played at the City Ground when it's, I mean, Glenn would have played there when they were winning European Cups.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, they're an incredible bunch of fans there. You know, they've been spoilt, but it's there, it's in their grasp. It's been there for a long time. I think the wheels have finally started to fall off, but they just got to hold it together for a couple more games. Glenn's absolutely right. If they beat West Ham, it is the biggest cup final they had for as long as they can remember. A lot of them fans. So it will be, you wouldn't be able to take your eyes off it. Not only that game, but the rest of these games towards the end of the season. The last game of the season is always going to be something on it. Unfortunately, not at the top and not at the bottom, but fight for the Champions League is going to be crucial.
The thing is, if you told Forest at the start of the season you're going to get European football, they would have taken it. But now they are so close, and they've had a taste of being in that top 5.
It's not like they're playing catch up and they're trying to get there. They've been in pole position. They've actually hit second, maybe third, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
For a period of time. So it would be heartbreaking for them, really, in many ways, if they don't get Champions League. But I wouldn't cast them out. I would give them more than 11%. The computer's giving them, put it that way.
Oh, Glenn doesn't like the computer. Well, we're going to go back to hear post-match reactions from a Spurs point of view. Defeat tonight, heading into that big cup final in midweek. We'll hear from their manager, Ange Postecoglou, but first here's Son Heung-min.
Yeah, Wednesday will be my biggest day of my life, and look, will be great, and we'll be excited, and hope we can make a history.
Look, I think it's important that we use the time we've got now. You know, we've got 5 days to prepare for a big game and a massive opportunity for the football club, and we want to use every day of that. We obviously left some guys back in London as well. That we've got some important sessions coming up. Make sure we're ready.
For both Spurs and Manchester United, it all comes down to one game. It's unbelievable to think that one of them could be playing Champions League football's worst season in terms of defeats for Spurs. And yet, there is this final chance.
Oh, it's amazing. But between the two clubs, Premier League, they've lost 39 games between them. That is an incredible stat. And it just shows you the strength of the Premier League, because if United and Spurs at this moment in time, how they've played this season, can get to the Europa final, the likes of Bournemouth, Brentford, Fulham, they could easily get to the Europa final as well, because that's how good they've been. Palace, I'll add them. There's a lot of teams in that Premier League that could have done exactly what United and Spurs have done. And that just shows you the power of the Premier League. Who's going to win this game is going to be very difficult. Spurs have already beaten United 3 times this year.
But they are without Kulusevski, the man who
Yeah.
has scored against United. You actually know what it's like to
Yeah.
miss a European Cup final for Spurs.
That's right. It's a massive blow for the club because Maddison's out as well. So that position is up for grabs. Now, whether, I don't know, if anyone tonight, you could look at, Ange will look at that and go, well, I can play him in there. I don't know. I think they'll go with the safe 3 of Sarr, Basuma and Bentancur, which isn't got the right balance. Whether Bergvall might make it, they're saying, I don't know. But Kulusevski's a massive miss. He really is. He's somebody that can just turn a game in a minute. He hasn't been as good as he was before his injury this season, but he's a top quality player. He seems to like playing against Man United as well.
Absolutely.
He scores quite a few goals against them.
If you're looking at a game tonight, they both played tonight. If you would ask me who's had the better preparation, I would say Manchester United. The Tottenham players haven't played. The Man United players have played well, certainly in the first period. I'll ask you, Glenn, if you have to manage one team, you're in that dressing room on Wednesday night next week, which team do you want to be managing?
I'd say Tottenham, the strongest team, because that was a reserve side. With the 2 centre-backs in, with the full-backs coming in fresh, that back 4, goalkeeper coming in fresh. I disagree with Emery in there. He said that 10 days was too much. At this stage of the season, you need a bit of a rest. If you can get a rest, if you can get fired up for a cup final, you don't need motivation. But if you can get a rest, there'd be a few players there. Fernandes, there's a few players got a little bit of a kick. Now, they might not be able to prepare for another two days because they're in the treatment room just tidying over little things they've got today and a bit of fatigue in their legs. Tottenham squad's mostly the team that's going to start have rested there, and I would have said the rest was better for the players.
Would you rather have rested than played? I'd rather have played tonight.
Yeah, no, I think at this stage of the season, Tim, when you've played back-to-back games and you've had, I think a little rest, and you're chomping then on the bit, your body's ready to go. In my opinion, if it was in the middle of the season, maybe at the beginning of the season, no. But I think that little bit of rest, and now they're, those 2 centre-backs for Tottenham will be chomping on the bit to get out there and play. They'll feel fresh, and the back, as I say, the whole back 4 will be a new back 4.
It's
They've all played
incredible
together.
how the 2 managers
Look at
playing
it differently, yeah.
They're looking at it differently. Amorim's like, we've had a terrible season, this won't change anything. And Ange is saying it's all about one game. If you win this, it's been a successful season. It's going to be, you can't take your eyes off it. It's going to absolutely, everyone will be tuning into this. It's going to be a massive game, not only for European football, for the Champions League, but also for the Premier League. Everyone who's interested in the Premier League will get their eyes fixed on this game.